Every Keralite's childhood memories can never be spared without the presence of a dragonflies. In fact, they are the most interactive insect. But our society doesn't have a complete knowledge about the divisions in the dragonfly family as compared to the birds or butterflies. Needlefly or stonefly are the only names maybe a few are acquainted of. We can often find these dragonflies in the paddy fields, lake shores, even around surroundings, especially in Kerala. Dragonfly songs, even picking up stones with the dragonflies, etc. Especially during the Onam season are some of those which Malayalis are familiar with. Even in a small state like Kerala, we can find nearly 150 different species of dragonflies. Bird watching has now become a familiar hobby. But dragonfly watching has reached nowhere. Let us join our hands to make the survival of these wetlands a new life. Dragonflies are two beautiful creatures like the butterflies. Their existence dates back to 300 million years, and therefore they are known as living fossils. For the balance in the ecosystem, they are most commonly found near lakes, ponds, rivers, etc. Globally, scientists have recognized more than 5,000 different species of dragonflies, out of which 499 are found in India and 154 out of 499 are found in Kerala. Dragonflies are categorized under the class insect category of the phylum Arthropoda ethnicity. Dragonflies are further categorized into Zygopetra, Anisopetra, and Anisozygopetra into a single subcategory named as Epiprocta. The structure of a dragonfly. Dragonflies are non-vertebrate. It has a strong outer covering on its body that gives its shape and strength. The body of a dragonfly are divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Their mouth is placed below the head and the forehead comes with an antenna. The eyes of a dragonfly is a combination of hundreds of small eyes, which is compound eyes. Dragonflies have their eyes jointed and the damselflies have their eyes separated. And it is with this factor that a major categorization of dragonflies are made. Thorax. They have a small neck behind their head, and the color of the neck and the thorax helps in identifying the species of the flies. From the thorax, every fly has 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings. The small thorn-like structure in the legs is an added advantage that helps in hunting the prey for food, as they cannot walk with these legs. The long, slim abdomen of the fly has 10 parts. The abdomen can be twisted upwards and downwards. The male flies have their genital organ between the 9th and 10th section of its abdomen. The germ is deposited just before the mating in the spoon-like structure inside the 2nd section. The wings are open while they sit. The starting of the back wings are wider. The thorax and abdomen are fat. The front and back wings are different in terms of length and breadth. Their eyes are jointed. Their strong and supportive wings help in long-distance flights. Damselfly. Their wings are parallel to their abdomen. All the wings starts in a narrow structure and all are equal in size. Their eyes are pointed towards left and right. Since their wings are soft, they can only fly in a slower pace. The life cycle of a fly is divided into 3 stages: the egg, the larva, and matured fly. Normally, the eggs of flies are seen in oval shape or ball shape. The damselflies deposit their eggs in water sources or small twigs or on grass. They always lay their eggs near a water source which has a high moisture content, whereas the dragonflies deposit them directly into the water. Some dragonflies prefer the branches which are directly above the water sources. During the rain, the eggs couples into larvae. Normally, it takes a week to a month for the transformation of the eggs. But the Anax guttatus species lay their eggs only on big grass. They use their sharp end of their tails to dig the grass and lay the eggs inside it. It transforms into larva only after 5 or 6 months. The larvae coupled from the eggs are known as pro-larvae. They transform within a minute or two to form a complete larva. They are much in favor of food, and they shed their outer skin like the snakes. They shed their outer skin nearly 8 to 15 times. They are not much beautiful to see. Major portion of the life of a larva is spent in water. They stop consuming food just before a day or two and come near a rock or shrub where they shed their skin and a beautiful fly come out. It takes from minutes to even hours for the transformation of larva into dragonfly. Commonly, the larva transforms during the early hours of daybreak. The Anax guttatus flies transforms mostly at midnight. Dragonfly larvae are fat and big as compared to that of damselflies, which are thin and long. The larvae of mosquitoes and other small insects are the main appetite for the larvae. They even consume larvae on their own species. The larvae most commonly live beneath the waters, near stones or decomposed grass. The adult that comes out of the larva comes into its true color only after a few days. Only the mature adults leave their water sources. Usually, the female flies live away from the water sources. They come near water source only for breeding. The initial color of the male and female flies that come out of the larva will be the same. It is only after a few days of growth that these flies by displaying various acts such as shaking the abdomen, spreading their wings, or by flying around the female and so on. The male fly folds its tail and comes in front of the fly, and the back of the dragonflies hang on to them. The germ is produced under the 10th section of the abdomen of the male fly, and it is deposited into the 2nd section of the female flies. After that, the germ transforms into spear shape, and then the eggs are formed. Immediately, the female flies are ready to lay their eggs. Mostly, the flies are found near water sources. They lay their eggs either in flowing or still fresh water sources. Even a small water stagnant inside a tree trunk to a large backwater is a favorite spot for a dragonfly. Every different species of fly prefer different sources of water habitat. There are even flies who prefer saline water for their habitat. The habitat ecology for every fly differs as the sea level of water sources increases. There are multi-volatile flies. They are found in many habitable ecologies. But there are flies who are unvolatile and are found in specific habitats known as stenotropic. The destruction of these habitat ecologies was a threat for the existence of these flies. The red-tailed flies are found in full-time dark shadowed forest. The rocks and gaps between the rocks near the water sources are the most favorite places. The red-tailed flies lay their eggs only on the shrubs, which are tall and bent towards the water sources. There are many rare species of flies that are found only in various parts of Kerala. Once the flies have dominated a habitat or a territory, they restrict the entry of other male flies, even of the species. The baby flies formed out of the larva fly away from their birthplace and comes back to the same place on they reach full growth. Most often, the male flies acquire full growth than the female flies, and the male flies come near the water sources that are suitable for the female flies to lay their eggs. Most of the female flies who are ready to lay their eggs come near the water sources. The male flies are more in count, and hence the place which the female flies prefer for laying the eggs are the most favorite places for the male flies. Every species of fly needs a high rock sand or a dry branches of trees to watch for the arrival of the female flies, and therefore there arises a situation of conflict and a competition among the flies. The one who failed to seek the next suitable water sources. This helps in regeneration of these species of flies. Usually the fight is found among the damselflies, and this might end up in pushing away the opponent into the water. The flies even wait for mating in water sources near roads that are formed by splashing of water while heavy vehicles pass by. The flies even kill their own newborn so as to maintain the availability of food and for more opportunities for mating. The flies' different color texture helps them in camouflaging themselves from their enemies. Where the water sources are small, the adult flies fights against the trespassing flies so as to maintain the availability of food for the larvae. The female flies even guard the flies who are laying eggs from the male flies who seek them for mating. Similar to the migrating birds, it is also found that certain flies and butterflies also migrate. After long research in 2009, Dr. Charles Anderson in his research states about the flies that migrate into Kerala during autumn season. They migrate from Africa in thousands, traveling across land and water mass. Hence, they are also known as autumn flies. When the group of flies who migrate are more, the migrating birds also join them, as the birds find these flies as food for them during their migration. During monsoon, the flies balance themselves against the wind with the help of their tail, and they use wings minimally so as to maintain their flights against the odds. In the ecological biosphere, the flies play a major role in controlling of the breeding of mosquitoes. Especially the main food of Gynacantha sixoma flies are mosquitoes. It is found that the larvae of the flies feed on the larvae of mosquitoes. They eat around 30 larvae of mosquitoes every day. Since the flies target the larvae of mosquitoes for their food, it makes the flies the main enemy of the mosquitoes. The instruments which we use for avoiding the flies use the basic principle of the flies, that is, the sound produced by the fluttering of the wings of the flies. The flies also feed on other small insects, which destroys the crops in farms. In this manner, the flies are very much in help for the humans. We consider the water source clean by the presence of flies. Use of pesticides, deforestation, and urbanization, etc., have resulted in the extinction of these flies. We have identified over 67 species of flies around the western regions, and the changes in the habitat have posed a threat for the existence of these flies. After the 1930s, there have not been much studies taken place in India. The flies that were recorded earlier are now not being found in the surveys recently conducted by the observers. It is a must that we find habitats for these flies and maintain them for the future existence of these flies. There have been evident mention about the flies, especially in the folklores of various places. There also exist various beliefs around these flies. The Keralites welcome their festival of Onam through the coming of the flies. The farmer believed that the mass slow flight of the flies is an indicator of good rain. In Europe, people consider the presence of flies as a symbol of peace and harmony. The people of Japan make tattoos on their bodies symbolizing the flies for better crops and growth. They have even built a dragonfly sanctuaries for the maintenance of these flies. The meaning of a word in Japanese, akitushimi, itself is a dragonfly island. These flies are the best friends of kids all over the world. People even consider the flies as the souls of their dear and near lies in these flies. Americans believe that the devils use these flies to tie up the mouth and the eyes of a naughty kids. It is a very interactive and exciting job to observe the vivid varieties and colors of flies. In India and abroad, dragonfly observation is very much popular hobby. Even dragonfly photography has helped these people in their hobbies. Another advantage for the observers is that they can reach very close to these flies. We always wonder what are names of these flies that have red and blue and green colored flies and so on. Nowadays, it is so easy to start observing the flies with the help of information available in social media and internet. In Kerala, the flies can be commonly observed in small gardens, ponds, lakes, paddy fields, etc. The most suitable time starts from the daybreak and can continue up to afternoon. Clicking snaps of the flies and noting down the physical characteristics of these flies can later help in identifying the various species of dragonflies. We can find nearly 75 different species of normal flies in and around Kerala. We can observe around 40 flies on an average every 2 hours near a clean and non-polluted water source. Places like Kallar, Ponmudi in Trivandrum district, Thattekad in Ernakulam district, Tusharagiri in Kozhikode district, Kuruva Island in Wayanad district are considered to be the heaven of dragonfly observers. Even a small water source near a home can help in finding various species of dragonflies in and around us.